Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys all had a great weekend. Lovely sunny weather again today. We are back to talk about the man that is Lucas Paqueta. We did a video yesterday talking about the reports coming out that Newcastle and Arsenal had been placing bids for the player, but Paqueta has taken it one step further, pretty much 5 minutes after I uploaded yesterday's video. He must have seen us, who knows. He came out and asked for a transfer request at Lyon. It is being reported that he has gone into the office and asked to leave this summer window, which is big. Again, right off the back of rumours coming out, the Newcastle and Arsenal have placed bids for around 42 million. Paqueta seemingly has taken it into his own hands to go and ask Lyon to leave this summer. We will get into all of that in this video. We also have a little bit of news about a player potentially leaving Newcastle in the next 24 to 48 hours. And we've had the first images out of the players heading off to Austria for the pre-season tour. Now, before we do get into that, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Again, I know I've been asking quite a lot recently, but again, the channel is really doing well at the moment, and it's a great time to get involved. Newcastle are really kicking on. So, to start things off, it looks like Kieran Clark could well be leaving the club as soon as tomorrow. There's reports that he could well be in Sheffield for his medical on the potential move to Sheffield United. Now, again, we talk about Newcastle pushing for Paqueta. We talk about Paqueta pushing to leave Lyon. Eddie Howe is also pushing to try and get some of these players out the door. We saw him relegate Clark to the under-23s training sessions alongside Gale, alongside Hendrick. It looks like Kieran Clark is making a move pretty quickly. Dwight Gale is also being linked, or heavily linked, with a move to either Birmingham or Watford. So it's great to see that these players are taking it upon themselves to go out and move on. And again, the pre-season is really underway now, and they've pretty much been told they are surplus to requirements, and I want to see them go and play football. At the end of the day, Clark did a good job for us for a number of years. Yes, it didn't really end the way I'm sure he hoped, but at the end of the day, he was a decent player for us. So I don't want them to be sat in the under-23s. For their sake, I want them to go and find football. I still think he could be a very good championship player, and I think that Sheffield United are getting a decent player there. So all the best to Kieran Clark. Again, images are now coming out of the players making their way over to Austria. Joe Linton and Bruno sat together on the plane as they head out there. We've got a friendly on Friday, then another one on Monday. I actually thought they may have left maybe Tuesday, Wednesday this week, so they are really going out there for over a week. Again, we know there's refurbishment work going on at the training ground. That's why we're trying to basically get away on these tours, so the building work can go on while they're away, and hopefully in time for the start of the season those changes will have been made. Again, we're not back for 5 minutes and we're off to Portugal for a game against Benfica out there, so it's all exciting stuff. And again, as I say, very exciting with regards to Lucas Paqueta. We again spoke about this. As I say, I think he must have literally waited for me to finish my video and then banged down the door of Lyon and went, I want to go. It's one that Newcastle have been linked with for a while. Obviously, he's Bruno's best mate. He's been to Newcastle. It's a little bit of a romantic one. It's really hotting up, but I think this could well be a big week for Newcastle. We talk about the fact that the pre-season is getting underway. Eddie Howe wants these players in as quickly as possible. We don't ideally want to be doing deals late in the window. The sooner the better. With regards to cost and fees, again, there is reports that Newcastle placed a £40 million bid. Arsenal placed a £42 million bid. Obviously, Lyon are going to want to try and get what they can, but it's understood they are hoping for something closer to 50 million. Now, again, these are reports that these bids have been made. Nothing's actually official, but it would not surprise me if bids potentially have been made by, who knows, Newcastle, Arsenal, maybe even somebody else. But I would not be surprised if Lyon are holding up a bit of a, we want the 50 plus, and maybe Paqueta's gone in there and gone, accept what's being offered. I mean, they're in the right and it's still early in the window, so again, this one could go on for a while, especially if they're holding out for the big money, but it would not surprise me if maybe this is what pushed Paqueta into going in and going, I want to go now. Again, you look at Paqueta when he came over and visited Bruno for the birthday party or whatever it was, when he was in the garden playing football, he was dropped for the final game of that Lyon season. So there's been a little bit of something going on there since the end of last season, and it's just till now where he has now again reportedly gone into Lyon and said, I would like to leave this summer window. It does seem that it's Arsenal who are the ones really pushing on this. There's huge links between Arsenal and Paqueta, and generally I think Newcastle have always had their eyes on Paqueta. He's a fantastic player. I think a lot of teams have probably had their eyes on him. It seems like a Premier League move is what he would like. I think that it's not the position Newcastle are looking to strengthen. I think he's obviously a great player, and he would add, and having him, Bruno and Joe Linton in the midfield would be tremendous, but I just think we are heavily linked with strikers, wingers, not really midfielders, and if anything, I think this has possibly come along a year too soon, or 2 years too soon. You look at our midfield, we've gone and bought Bruno, we bought Willock not that too long ago, we've just given Sean Longstaff a new deal, Joe Linton was obviously quite pricey as well, so we have gone and spent in that area of the pitch. And you look at how much money we spent in January, the 90 million on Woods, Trippier, etc. You look at the Botman coming in for around 30 million, was it? Pope was 10, Target was 15. You know, we've done all right so far. We're looking at around 140 million pounds spent, and the club are being clever. Obviously, we have the money, but it's financial fair play. You look at when the Botman deal went through, it actually went through on, they held off until the 1st of July to move it into the next financial year. So we're being clever about it, but I just think we don't have the funds to go out, buy Paqueta and Diaby and a new striker, and it's kind of what is the priority. Now for me, I think we've had our eyes on Paqueta, but Arsenal have been the ones pushing for it. Now that door's open and he's wanting to move, that's when we need to step in. I think now's the moment where it's a do or don't. I understand that maybe he wasn't at the forefront of our ideas, but if we want this to happen and he's going to leave this summer, we have no other choice but to go in for him. Yes, it would have been potentially more helpful if we could have concentrated on striker, winger now, Paqueta next summer, but that's not looking like it's going to happen anymore. So I do think Newcastle need to step in terms of formations as well. Again, I don't think this is why he wasn't at the top of our list. You look at how we play, we assume we'll play the same way again next season. 4 at the back, 3 in the middle, 2 wingers and a striker. Paqueta is basically the man who would stand in the middle of that. He's the number 8, the number 10, the behind Wilson, in ahead of those 3 midfielders. We don't play with a man there. Not to say that he would seriously help add towards the goals. That would be a great person to help link the play up from midfield, but generally that is not the formation we played, which again is why I just don't think he was at the forefront of our transfer plans. But it's not to say that now that the door is open, we can't make a move on that. And we spoke about this yesterday on would you take Paqueta over a new striker? You could even argue that Paqueta again is a number 10. Can he even potentially fill in that striker role? Could we put him up front to help bolster that position as well? The trouble with the striker is we need a bionic man, to be honest. Wilson does so much up front. We saw it with Chris Wood. He hasn't got the legs. Callum Wilson's doing everything. You know, back when everyone played 4-4-2, you had a tall striker, a little striker, you had a quick striker, a strong striker. Now you've just got one guy who stands up front and is expected to do everything. Callum Wilson does that. It's going to be tough to get a striker full stop this window, I think. To be honest, we are looking for a very specific kind of striker. Chris Wood will do us okay, but we need more than that. And to be honest, as much as I would like to see us spend money on a striker, we could be looking around all window and still not find what we want, which again is also pushing me in the direction of, should we go with something we know is available? Now again, Arsenal are the team who are really pushing for this one. And you might say I've got my black and white tinted glasses on, and I may well do so, but I do think that with Arsenal, they don't have the Champions League. They don't have the Champions League pull. Yes, they've got Europa League, but it's not quite the same. 2 Premier League sides. Obviously, Arsenal are a fantastic club and have their own benefits as well. Obviously, players like to go to the capital. Arsenal have got a fantastic stadium. They've got a great history. Obviously, they've won a lot of trophies in recent years as well. So they obviously have their pulls as well. What we have, I think, is Bruno, his mate, and the project of what Newcastle is to come. Again, Bruno had the same 2 options in January and chose Newcastle. I would be astonished if his best mate had that same choice and chose a different option. He would have spoken to Paqueta and gone, these are my 2 options, this is what I'm going to do. They play together at Lyon. They play together at Brazil. They pretty much live in each other's pockets. There's no way he's not had that conversation with him, and then Paqueta goes, well, I'm going to do the other one. I think, and again, this is me with my black and white tinted glasses on, I do think that if Arsenal get Paqueta, it's because we weren't in it for him. Does that sound bad? Possibly. I just can't see a world where he wouldn't go to Newcastle. And if you're an Arsenal fan, please feel free to get down in the comments and tell me how wrong I am. But that is the way I'm kind of feeling, to be honest. And again, Lyon are wanting 50 plus million. And as much as we've got the money, we've got the new owners, it's FFP. It's if we spend it now, can we not spend in January? Can we not spend next summer? Again, we've gone out and spent obviously a fair chunk in the January because we needed to make sure we stayed up. We've had a reserved, but I would say successful start to the window so far. Now we're looking for that bit of flair on the wing or up front. The man who's going to get the goals, Paqueta would be that man. Can we look at doing it in installments? Can we pay so much now, so much later? Would Lyon want that? If Arsenal are offering cold hard cash, would they prefer that move because we aren't? Do we look into the option of letting players go? Obviously, we are looking to let go of Clark, Hendrick, Gale. Those guys aren't bringing any money back. They're bringing in wages back. Would you consider looking at the likes of, I mean, if someone came and offered us the money back for Chris Wood, I would take it, to be honest. I was going to say, but we wouldn't get that. 10 million, it's Almiron, St. Max, some players who have been linked away. Obviously, Lascelles has been linked to Nottingham Forest as well. So there have been some links there. At the moment, it really doesn't look like we're letting... I think Eddie Howe looks like he's made his mind up on what players are going, and it's the ones he's put in the other 23s, which would suggest to me that everyone else is well within a shout of making the squad. Would you consider looking at those options to try and make that extra money so we can get Paqueta, Diaby and a striker? It's just a lot. And again, it's not that we don't have it, it's FFP. So, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag in that video, to be honest. I would well and truly like us to now go, right, he wasn't necessarily at the front of our list, but that door is wide open now. He's asked to leave. Arsenal appear to be the front runners. Newcastle need to step in and put these bids on the table. And again, if it's true that Arsenal are offering 1 million more than we are and all that back and forth, that's fine. But I think we need to put our interest on the table. And again, unless we aren't actually in for him, I can't see why he would not choose to go to Newcastle. But let me know your thoughts on Paqueta down below. Obviously, big news that he has said he wants to leave this window, and it wouldn't surprise me if he did. He's a fantastic player, and again, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe 1 or 2 other teams suddenly stepped in now that it's common knowledge he wants an exit. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. Have a great week. And if you did enjoy this video, click here and check out my video on Sven Botman, obviously the man we brought in not too long ago. And he's obviously had a great start so far. We talk about a few strengths, what he can really add to the side this season. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.